Hi everyone. Um, Not an awful lot to say this week, but I thought it's been 2 weeks, so I thought it was only fair that I answer some questions. I hope you liked the animation just now. That's from Paul Kitchen. It's gonna be kind of an intro thing for videos. I'm gonna be doing some short videos. Yes, short videos. Um, Kind of promotional, but also to educate people. So each of the independent parts of the monitor, like for example HDMI. I know HDMI, yeah, but it's got a switcher in it. That kind of thing, explaining the switcher. The VGA explaining the peculiarities. The AV, all the different sections, going to be an individual video about every single little bit of it, and how it all works, and so people can hopefully get used to it. One about remote controls. So we're going to introduce it with that video, hence the wanting to get that done. We did have a version before, but unfortunately, no blame, but Paul, he used the iMega board, which he had modelled, going in the back, so we had to redo it. You've probably seen this video, but we had to do it so that we swap out that for the slot 0, and he's done a great job on the slot 0, so it kind of goes in. It looks correct now. So I'm well pleased. It looks great. As I said, it's not an awful lot to talk about. Obviously, good news. 600 monitors are in that container, plus a load of extras. All the extras that I need to customize them. You know, the mount frames, cables, that kind of thing. Things like these mount frames. Yeah. So that's on its way. At the moment, it's looking like the 4th week of November. So obviously, I'm going to do my best to get as many out as I can for Christmas, but I cannot guarantee it. I'm going to get as many as I can out, but please bear with me. Also, please understand, I know some people are going to be a bit disappointed with this. These are all white. I'm going to look into how it affects the shipping. I know the obvious questions, so you don't have to ask. What if you've ordered one of each? You know what I mean. Having said that, the next container, all the parts will be ready by the 30th, and then they've already got like 400, so they've only got to build a couple more hundred, and they're nearly all black. So the next container will fill up again, and then that will be shipped out in about 2-3 weeks. Yeah. So then that's almost all of the ones that have been ordered. Okay. So if you joined the party as a pre-order, I've still got a lot of backers that haven't paid their balances. I don't mind the fact of other people jumping in front of them, because it's quite handy with cash flow, etc., etc. So that's fine. And but yeah, there's still a fair number in there. And as I said, I am going to remove at some point the option, because if you're a backer, you get a serious a la carte menu. You can have this, you know what I mean. But I'm gonna probably remove the options for all that soon. Especially once I've shipped this lot out. I'll just pull it, and then you can just order the standard ones. And then remove your payment that you've already made from that. So everything's good. I've got someone's going to help me with assembly to do this nice and quick. So we've got that sorted out, and I'm just clearing out the office. So we're working on making the office good. What else is there? App is in the house. Still not very well, but he's on the road. I'm gonna go and see him on Thursday. Any excuse to go for a restaurant. Risa likes it. We go out for lunch. But we got a few things to talk about, so that's all good. What else? I can't think of an awful... I know it sounds terrible. I can't really think of an awful lot to talk about. So I'm hoping you lot are putting some questions in there. Otherwise, this is going to be a very short one. I'm just looking for questions. Everyone's just saying hello to Happy, which is nice. Okay, Taj, look, the iMega app is not well. Shelved. Okay. Until app is better, I'm not worried about that. Once he's up to it, then we can come. As I said, we're almost there. But to be fair, we're actually waiting on the PyStorm Claude. He's doing that camera port Amiga video thing, so we're waiting for him to complete that. And I know there's it's taken him a little while to complete that, so we're kind of held up with that. We won't release nothing until we can put that on there. So what would be considered standard going forward? I assume... Oh, yeah, okay, right. So every single monitor... I shouldn't really say this out loud, but I don't think anyone who hasn't paid their balance is going to notice. Everybody will get a backplane. It's going to be costed. It's not like for free. The standard pack, which is 449 plus that, gets a backplane, gets the 6-way HDMI switcher, gets one of these. You probably haven't seen one of these, may not. Yeah, which is the HDMI capture. So basically that'll be it. That's going to be the stand. Now I do have a 399 one in there, which is slightly less. Go and have a look at it, see what it says. Only 10 people have taken it up. Thankfully, everybody's gone for this full starter pack. But I wanted that magic 399, just say from 399. I'm sure you can appreciate that. Right. But yeah, backplane is always... Everyone's getting a backplane. So if you didn't order one, you're still going to get one. Some people haven't ordered this. Very few. Handful of people, maybe 10. Oh, I don't want that. Delete it. Maybe less than 10 actually, but they're still going to get it. Yeah, everyone's getting it. Will home delivery require a signature? Yes, because DHL. Any new numbers on people shown interest on the Dragon Box site? No, I haven't. I know that when Michael put it up there, within like half hour there was 10 had registered. So I don't know now. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Because remember, I don't do a lot of PR. I haven't really done any PR on this. The only one was been the Nostalgia Nerd video. So not really done a lot of PR on it. That is coming. But I'd much rather get some of these out. Although I'd like to also get pre-orders. Which would be really good. No, nothing's... I do need to get in touch with Nostalgia Nerd. He hasn't been in touch. I assume that's good because he didn't really get in touch last time, and he was very positive. So I think he did actually mention he had an issue before the video, and that was because that was when I ordered one of these, and it seems to work fine with mine. So I will probably contact him because we're gonna have some. There's going to be updates, like for the firmware, not yet, but a bit later. Well, there is a firmware update which he hasn't got, but there's probably going to be, one or two more as we go along. But they're easy. Just download onto the stick, put them in, let it restart, pull the plug, and it's good. Came in a bit late. Did I hear you say it's white one's first container? If so, what was the score with the black? Mine is black, if I missaid. Yeah, okay, right. So the next container will have all the black, basically. There was a problem with the whites came out lovely, okay. But the black, they weren't happy, and we had to redo the tooling. Well, they redid the tool. Yeah, so they wanted to retexture the tooling. That's a better way of putting it. Not that there was anything wrong with it really, but they wanted to make it as good as possible. So it kind of got the blacks kind of fell behind. Hence, they asked, can they ship all the whites? If you've ordered a black, a third of people have ordered black. It will be on the next container. I'm sorry, it's just production. Okay. I've got to decide what to do if it's if you've ordered one of each. Probably I can send one and then the other one later. I've got to sort that out. But it's not going to be much longer. I think it's going to be about another 3 weeks longer because, it's I know they've made nearly 400 of them. They're all sitting there waiting, but we don't want to send half a container because it's too expensive. So we want to get the rest of the parts are arriving on for 1,500 arrive. Another 500 sets are arriving on the end of this month. Then a week, probably maybe week 10 days to assemble the next lot and then fill a container, and then that can get put on the boat. So it's about a month behind this one. So it'll miss Christmas. I am sorry. But this is production, I'm afraid, especially the black, because the black shows up everything. So they weren't happy with the texture, and it was the manufacturers that said we want to redo them. And so I gave them the go ahead because I'm sure you want good ones. Right. In your last presentation video, you said that the Panos will be capable of 1080p. Does that mean it will support 1080p? Right, so yes. If you put a 1080p signal into it, remember, it's a 1280 by 1024 panel. If you want to put a 1920 by 1080, its initial thing, if it's set to auto, it will just stretch it to fill the screen. Looks stupid. If you select 16:9, it'll put it in an envelope in a window, okay, with big black bars above and below. It's not really meant for normal 1920 1080p. Now, I've explained the thing about the S video. It outputs in that, and we squish it and scale it and do whatever. Yeah. So if you've got does it mean it supports 1080p at 60 hertz refresh rate? Yeah, of course it will. I'll just squish it. It looks well unless you scale it 16:9, and then you're losing a lot. It's just doing this. It's not a 16:9 panel. Remember that. So it'll squish it. I saw Nostalgia video display look bloody excellent on 1500 milli. This pleases me greatly as I have one of the Mystics in a 1500 milli. Yeah, okay, so. Yeah, I mean, they do look nice on the... Oh, I don't know, I haven't got one here. They do look nice. I'm going to say they look nice on my cases. I mean, I know I'm biased, but I kind of designed it that way. It's meant to look good. Will there be a process for reporting those retro systems that may have issues to you? Yes. Look. So, I've probably not worded that very well. I know exactly what you mean. Right. If you notice on the site, what I've added is this. I've put these charts. Oh, okay. I'll come back to him. It scared the life out of me. Right. So I've put these charts up on the website. So the idea of this is just really to give you information. So these are the ones so these are the computers that I own and I've tested. So by all means go on here. Now again, I always say this. monitor is at the mercy of crap cables. It's important you use good cables. If you're using not good ones, or the bad ground or bad shielding, and it's a bit... So, if you have any issues and it's on the list, you tell me, get in touch. And the first thing we'll say about is the cable. Because obviously if it's on the list here, you will have probably seen it looking fine on mine. Now, it's not to say there's no problems. If you've got something that's not on the list and is not... Well, here's the thing. If you have got something that is on the list, is not on the list, and is working great, let me know. And then I'll add it to another list, which is customers testing. If you've got one that's not on the list and is having problems, and it's not the cable, and you're confident it's not the cable, if feasible, I will order that. I will order one of those units, and then I'll test it exactly like I did with this, because I don't, So I bought this because Nostalgia Nerd, his one was a little bit making some funny shaking. I bought one, plugged it in with a cheap cable. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I think I did a video showing that. So, but feedback, yes, all day long. Probably easier, but just be email. There'll be no like form or anything like that. Email me the usual. Oh, hang on. So I haven't gone anywhere. It's just the time on the camera. Email me the usual link and send me a video, ideally, just to show me what the issue is. As I said, if it's not on the list and it's feasible, because I'm not going to go out and spend 10 grand on something that's... But if it's, now there is, I will say one thing. The X68000 Sharp, it's unlikely I'm going to get one. And I know it has a 24 kilohertz mode, and I'm not 100% sure if that will work. But this is GPS control, and it's a good version of GPS control. In other words, it's on a four-layer board. It's much better than a GPS A200. It's light years ahead of that. Okay, I know people say, "Oh, it's just using that cheapo board." It's using the chip, which is a good chip, right? And it's using GPS control, which is a great piece of firmware with a clock. Whole thing on a really good quality board. So it's a good product. Okay, but is it going to be perfect? Probably not. Okay, there's bound to be some issues. That was a long way of saying just send us an email, wasn't it, really? Oh, good. Yeah, Martin. I was lucky enough to see these monitors in the flesh at the recent Swag event. They look even better than on the screen here. Yeah, this looks terrible. Yeah? Let me come back to the big screen and you can see it. You can't tell anything from this. That's just the way it is. Are 1500 minis still stocked? I don't see them. No, gone. You left it too long. If it's there and you want it, buy it. But if you do want one, go to Dragonbox. Go to my site. You'll see there's a link that says Dragonbox. I sent the last half a dozen off to Michael. He has got all of the cases now. Anything. So he's got the last of the stock. I probably will make more later, the later part of next year. Same thing with garages, but I'm struggling for space. Now, I don't know whether to get a bigger unit yet or just stick as I am, because obviously, I don't know how this is going to go. I just don't. So we haven't got space for the cases. No space at all. So, but if you contact Michael, he has got some white... No, he may be sold, but he had some white minis, and he's got some black and white pluses, but there's not many. If you do want one, you need to buy it. Oh, come on. Got to get some more questions. Oh, because there's no more questions here. Look at that, look. I'll just have a swig. So I have missed the last few Q&As. All looks great. Can you recap the retro scaler that comes with the monitor? And the retro scaler, okay, doesn't come with the monitor. Appy's retro scaler is an option, okay? That's very important to understand that. In fact, let's make it very clear. Hang on. I'm just going to... Here we go. Right, let's switch to 2chat. Right, see where it says optional... Well, you can't see it. Optional upgrades, Appy's retro scaler. So the standard monitor comes with HDMI inputs, HDMI output, VGA input, now that's a VGA 31 kilohertz, 2 AV inputs with audio, so 2 composites with their own independent stereo audio. If you want to upgrade to the Appy's retro scaler, now if you're backer, you can just have the scaler and ignore the S video. But if you're new, you have to buy the scaler combined with the S video and the RF. It comes as a complete bundle, and then it just plugs straight in. So that's, but that's an optional extra. That's just the way it is. They're not cheap. Yes. How did you get on a swag? I couldn't talk. My voice had gone. It was people. I still went. I was thinking of not going, but I had told them I was going to go. But the night before, my voice just died. And then I was like this all the time. I couldn't talk. So, of course, everyone wanted to come up and talk to me, which was wonderful. And I love talking to people, but you're making my voice worse. So, it went kind of like that. But a lot of people came along. There was a number of backers. There was a number of people who'd heard about it and wanted to see it in the flesh, because I kind of told people, if you're in Bristol area, come and have a look. Lots of people did. Lots of people, I think, were impressed. They said they were. So that's all good. Are the bags in the... Yes, the bags are. I put 100 bags in there, which will be enough for the first batch, because I think I've sold 250. There's another 400 to come. But I prioritised monitors. So basically 100 bags. They're about a third of the depth of a monitor. So that's probably stopped 30 monitors. Don't tell anyone who's in the next lot. Is the best solution for VGA still to unplug? Right. Okay. So if you remember, one of the bad things, I can't remember if I put it down as an ugly or bad, it was one of the two, was if you plugged a VGA into the rear, it basically, for all intents and purposes, disables the backplane, because the backplane is basically VGA, and as soon as you've got something on the external, the controller goes VGA, bang, I'll have that, and overrides anything else, right? Now, Appy doesn't know. Oh, he may well know, actually, because if he's looking at the comments. But I've been talking to the Chinese, and I've explained to them the issue, and they've tested it. And I said, look, can we make a dock? Someone said to me about putting a switch box. No, we can make a dongle with a switch. So basically, there's obviously 1 or 2 lines on the VGA cable, because you don't have to have the... Even if the computer that's connected is turned off, it still locks it, which is why a lot of people are going, oh my God. So they're going to make a little dongle, a little tiny dongle, a little board, connects in, plug in with a switch, and it will disable the external VGA cable. So fingers crossed, there will be a dongle to plug in to do that. Now, I've got to wait and see what it costs. Now, it's important to understand I've already thrown loads of extras in this monitor, okay? Probably more than I should have done. So I don't know if I can afford to throw one in. I don't even know if we'll get them in time. So everyone will be able to get one. There'll be probably peanuts, £5-10, something like that. Won't be very much, and a bit of shipping. Worst case scenario, because I don't think everyone's going to be affected by it, to be honest. But there will be a lot of people affected by it. If it's really, really, really cheap, and they can get them done quick, and there's people will pay their balances. There's 200 people who haven't paid their balances. If I move all this stuff, then I'm more inclined to go, I'll put them in there, because I'm already putting other stuff in there. It might also be that, do you know what? That would be more useful than a poster. So I've got to decide what I'm going to do. Now they may not be able to fix it. It may not be able to do it. I've got a feeling that a switch to disable the offending pin is not rocket science. So I'm relatively confident about it, but please don't string me up if you don't get it in the monitor. That's all I'm saying. That's the bottom line, because it's something we want to address. I'm not happy with it. It's just, that's life. It's just the chip. It just instantly senses it, and it's unfair to expect it to do anything else. But if we can, I'm pretty confident they will fix it, and they will make a little dongle. Whether it'll go thrown in with all the monitors, I don't know. Going forward, it will, and you might find I say is a small fee for shipping, and I'll post one to you. I don't know how I'm going to handle it yet. Until I've got it, they've done it, until we know what they cost. It could be it needs a component, and then it pushes the price up. I don't know. But bear with me on that. But we are working on it. That's all I can say. Will we have some firmware updates? If so, will we be able to do them via USB? Yes. So here's the thing. Firmware updates for slot 0 will be made available on the website. You just download it, drop it onto your USB stick. This will be one of the little mini videos, but you drop it onto your USB stick, power off the monitor, put the USB in, make sure you put it in the one nearest the HDMI. I think it says it in the manual. Put it in there, well, nothing will happen. Switch the monitor on and you'll see the light blink. Okay? Leave it. Right, don't brick it. Right, leave it. And then it will recycle and it will start up and you'll see the logo come up. Once the logo comes up and the monitor's on, you can pull that out the back, and then I would delete that off, because every time, if you leave that in there with it plugged in, it resets everything. It doesn't reload it, it just resets everything, which is really annoying. So take that off and delete the file. It's very straightforward. On GBS Control, I think most people are going to do their own profiles, but it might be that we'll release profile packs and you can just restore our profile pack, which you can then control with the jog dial or log in. That's the updates that you can do on the system. What chances will be peaceful Christmas for you? No chance. Well, Christmas, yes, because I'm going away with the family on Christmas Day, but I think I'll be working quite a lot, especially in the run-up, because I want to get these monitors out there. I want to get as many as I possibly can ship. As I said, they should land in the 4th week of November. It takes 5 days apparently to come to us. Theoretically, the 1st week of December. It's not a lot of time. Do you know what I mean? We'll do our best. With the VGA weirdness, would a VGA HDMI dongle, these are cheap work, so the display would accept signal? Yes. Yes. I'd rather fix the VGA, because not everything can do that. I don't think. I mean, it's not a bad idea, actually. But we still want to fix the problem. Yeah, Appy's commenting here. I'm not going to discuss it. I will discuss it with Appy later on. I've given he's making some valid points, which is why I put it down as a. But if it can be solved, great. So we'll leave it at that. Yes, Appy, we'll talk about it Thursday. All right. You relax. Right. Look at that, half hour. Oh, hello from Tokyo. I'm eagerly waiting to monitor, but I'm just glad project is moving along. Yep, so am I. The boat left for Singapore earlier today. Any news of the unicorn? Oh, okay, right. Yeah, so I do need to. I have been in touch with our CUDA people. I do need to speak to them. I think I told you everything I know last time. I do need to get in touch. Oh, by the way, I suppose really, I mean, just for fun.
Hello, humanity. I'm Interstellar Scout K1.
Yeah, well, you know, when in China. Okay, one.
I'm here.
Bow, please. Right. I hope you've all got a sense of humour. But my little boy loved this thing. Now, I'm a bit disappointed because it's got a USB port and I can't program it. No, I didn't tell you to do anything. You better not start walking. But my little boy's favourite thing is this. And I hope you got a broad sense of humour. Hey, K1.
I'm here.
Pretend to fart.
Excuse me. I can't hold it anymore.
Shut down.
See you next time, humanity.
I want to program it. So I really do. But you can program it visually and you can program it with and you can remote control it. But I want to be able to program it because it would be such fun. But you can't, which is really disappointing. So I'm not buying the expensive version. But I got this in China because I wanted to buy a Alfie robot. I bought him a couple of cheap ones. But this one's the RoboSen Scout, K1 Pro Scout. Is it Scout? Yeah, but it's the K1 Pro. And it is brilliant, okay? But you get bored with it fairly quick. But you could, although you can make it program. Anyway, but besides that, I like robots. And, you know, they're quite fashionable at the moment, aren't they, apparently? Anyway. Let's go back to the questions. Can the display have keyboard, mouse, joystick connected and pass that to whatever's being used? Does it have to be internal? I'm not quite sure what you mean. The monitor doesn't. It's not a computer. It kind of is, but it's not. If you know what I mean. If you've got like a Mister, you plug them in the back. If you've got a Pi, you plug it in the back or whatever. So I'm not quite sure what you mean. You do have to have the computer internal. I'm on one of those, yeah. Dad jokes on a whole new level, yeah. Next product, robot. Yeah, do right. I'd love to build a robot. Because you know, I've done the cases. I do want to do. I do want to make my version of an Amiga. Okay, because I've got a nice monitor now. You know, I've done the cases, the keyboards at some point, and so it'd be nice to make my own Amiga, my own distribution, that kind of thing. But you know, it's like as Trevor once said, it's like herding cats, trying to get everyone to agree. So, but a robot would be great fun. How so many projects are coming out of China? That is the strength of a large market with nimble. Yes. Although I think the K1, look, I'm a great believer in this, right? The K1 was designed, I believe, in America. I could be wrong. And manufactured in China, like a lot of things. fine. It's as it says, designed in the UK, manufactured in China. And I'm a big believer in, because we were very wise in this country. Not only did we rip ourselves away from our greatest trading partners, we also ran down our manufacturing base. So until we can build up our manufacturing base, I have to go abroad and get it manufactured. Now, China is... I'm biased. I like China. Anyone who knows. I mean, I know a lot of people out there have got an opinion that they were given, right? And I'll say that they were given about China. I've talked to lots of people who've been to China. Love it. And, you know, so I don't have a problem with the Chinese. As I always say, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. With the Amiga, one should just plug keyboard and mouse into the monitor, right? Yeah, you plug it into the back of the Amiga, but it's not USB, it's PS2. Our version is PS2, because we know it's going to work. In fact, it's in the back of one of these. But there'll be lots of options for... I think it's going to be quite... I mean, we've already got the Amiga coming at some point when Appy's well. Appy, no rush, relax. We've got the fitting kits, you know, the Pi and the Mister, but I'm also having manufactured Pandora, and it's basically an ARM computer that's configured to be a games machine, but could be configured to be anything because it's just an ARM PC. Yeah, anyone who knows anything will realise that, and we're putting it's a pretty good ARM chip. I am going to cut this short because my chest is going a bit. Well, Taj, if you contact them, I'll give them any information they need. But remember, you can't put ITX. It's too big. It's twice the depth. So if he's making a custom board, yeah, why not? Dan from the... Oh, hello, Dan. Hello. The man who helped me with my Apple. Setting up so you could have one. Well, it would be nice, but I don't know. Dan. Okay. So to be clear, there's no keyboard mouse sharing between pods. No. Well, definitely not now. I mean, maybe, but not now. Yeah, because you're only going to put one computer in it. I've had a bad week with my asthma. BJ out and stuff, kind of like the missed question. Is the plan to restart cases once the monitors are shipped? Yes. If I've got room. If the monitors take off and I need the space, no. It'll have to wait until we can get a bigger premises. But right, guys, I'm having a bit of a chest problem. So I'm gonna cut it short now. Hopefully I've answered all your questions. Thanks for joining in, and I will see you maybe next week or the week after, something like that. But yes, I am going to stop this now. Okay, thanks for joining in. There's none I've missed, is there? No. I will speak to. We'll end this stream in 5, 4, 3.